The Fatal Fury series is one of the pillars of the fighting game genre, and SNK's very first fighting game title. Fatal Fury was also one of my personal favorite fighting game series growing up as a kid in the 90s. Now, Fatal Fury has seen many sequels over the course of time. In addition, it has many animation adaptations and even manga to accompany its success to propel the story of its vast world and characters. But there was one Fatal Fury game to really push the series further into the new era.
Garo, Mark of the Wolves.
Mark of the Wolves pushed the Fatal Fury series towards new heights and was the start of something new. It introduced many new characters to the series and even new takes on previously made characters. And most importantly, was the start of an all-new journey with one of my all-time favorite fighting game characters, Terry Bogard, and the introduction to a character that would later become one of my new favorite fighting game characters, Rock Howard. Now, all of this is great, but why is Fatal Fury City of the Wolves so important for SNK? Well, to be honest, there's a couple of reasons for that actually. For starters, the Fatal Fury series hasn't had a new entry since 1999. That would be a little over 23 years without a new Fatal Fury from SNK. And that's a long time. Oddly enough, it was SNK's first fighting game, so it's a huge wonder why no game for so long. Well, not really. I mean, King of Fighters did take off in Asia, so maybe that's why? Well, anyway, I still believe it's strange, especially when it was one of the original rivals to Capcom Street Fighter 2 back in the 90s. Now, with all that being said, all of this leads us to now, City of the Wolves.
Gonna take you for a ride. Try to keep up, all right?
So now we're here, we have a new Fatal Fury on the rise, and well, honestly, it's about damn time, SNK. Like about damn time. But really, honestly, I do think it's really important for SNK to have finally brought Fatal Fury back into the forefront like they should have done years ago. But let me dig a bit deeper as to why this game is so important for SNK. You see, SNK has spent a long time focusing on honing their skills to push into the 3D realm for years. They have attempted to bring their main titles into the 3D realm, including early attempts with Fatal Fury Wild Ambition, all the way up to modern times with Samurai Shodown 2019, and the most recently released King of Fighters 15. Now, SNK is in the new era and found a fairly decent amount of success, garnering new fans over the last few years. The real start of that success, in my personal opinion, would truly be from the reboot of Samurai Shodown. I'll talk about this game in a later video though, as there's so much ground to speak on, so we're gonna leave that for another time. But moving on, The King of Fighters 15, in which found even more success, although lacking in some areas. The game did extremely well due to its inclusion of rollback netcode and the additional crossplay features. Now, don't get me wrong, it definitely had its issues. With that being said, the man leading this new era of SNK titles is none other than Yasuyuki Oda. If you're not familiar with Oda, allow me to catch you up to speed with his contributions to the fighting game genre over the last few years. 1993, Fatal Fury Special. 1994, Art of Fighting 2. 1995, The King of Fighters 95. 2000, Garou, Mark of the Wolves. And now here's where it gets more interesting, you guys. Check this out. (2009)
Street Fighter 4.
Battle Designer. 2010, Super Street Fighter 4. 2011, Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, as a director. (2012), Street Fighter Cross Tekken. From this point in 2012, after Street Fighter Cross Tekken, Oda returned to SNK to where we are now. Now that you're all caught up, he's a pretty cool guy, huh? The significant thing to note here is that Oda was a part of not only the resurgence of Street Fighter, but the beginning of a new generation and popularity of fighting games. In other words, this man knows what he's doing. Over the course of time, Oda has said that he was always interested in revisiting Fatal Fury and continuing where it left off with Mark of the Wolves. In fact, he stated this explicitly, that he rejoined SNK to help finish the Fatal Fury series. I think it's hard for you to imagine I went back to SNK to complete Garou. At least I want to make Terry and Rock happy. That's why I work at SNK. However, I find it difficult to make everyone happy because Garou, or Fatal Fury, is old. This requires the cooperation of the entire community. We ask for everyone's cooperation. I want to show you the ultimate Buster Wolf and the biggest Shine Knuckle showdown. I want to tell people all over the world to see the final showdown between Terry and Rock. That's all. As you can see, Oda is very much so passionate about Fatal Fury, which now leans into the importance of this game. Once again, as SNK's first fighting game coming back into the modern era, it's very clear that Oda's team has to take a very cautious approach prior to the release and post-release support of this game. I'm just driving that point home, you guys, just so you know. Now, the marketing for the game now absolutely has to appeal to the global audience and more specifically to the West. They're already taking steps towards doing so, as City of the Wolves has full English voice acting, which is a first for a Fatal Fury title. And from what I can tell so far, so good. In addition to English voice acting, they're also looking to emphasize single player modes to enrich the overall gameplay experience. As a fan of the series, one of the trepidations that I believe City of the Wolves faces is that newcomers are not familiar with the Fatal Fury lore, and it might be a little bit confusing. Oda did mention this could be an issue as well. However, I personally believe with a good story mode accompanied by something along the lines of a solid compendium within the game to essentially sum up the storyline would do well enough. A great example of this would be in Devil May Cry 5's History of DMC recap. Now, knowing this, City of the Wolves still has a few more deliverables to be successful. It needs rollback netcode and crossplay. These go hand in hand and quite frankly are a necessity to connect the player base to throw hands. Now thankfully, they've recently got their rollback to be fairly solid in addition to crossplay due to KOF 15's implementation of this. So if anything, it's safe to assume they've learned from this and have been working to improve this during the development phase. Maybe we'll see a beta in the future before release. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a little network test. Who knows? We'll see. Another deliverable needed for City of the Wolves is a solid tutorial. City of the Wolves is rich with mechanics carrying over from Mark of the Wolves on top of the new rev system in place. So with that being said, any mechanically rich game is always going to need a good tutorial mode. Even if it's implemented as part of, say, like an arcade quest like Tekken 8, that will be appreciated a ton to give a solid understanding of the systems in place and to kind of get new players, started to understanding the game that much further. Another key component for City of the Wolves is a modern control scheme. Luckily, this has already been confirmed to already be in the game, so that's a good sign of things to come. Similar to Street Fighter 6, this will help new players get into the game, so this is a net positive all around for new players looking to jump into the action straight away that don't really have great execution. So kudos to SNK for taking, big note of a modern control scheme being very important in their game. The last component needed, and it's somewhat of a small one depending on how you look at it, but it's a very important one. Fatal Fury needs a solid roadmap of DLC deliverables, be it stages, balance updates, new characters, all of that. And I say this because it's really important for the player base to know exactly what's going on with the title. Additionally, a solid line of communication to the community is important as well. I really want to stress the importance of communication to the community because without that line of communication, it can be hard to gain the trust of potential new fans. Now, I believe they'll have a good line of communication as they've been pretty open about what they want to do for quite some time. Shout outs to Oda. So long as they don't go radio silent, I believe we're going to be pretty good, you guys. That's just my personal opinion. So with all of this, SNK has a good recipe for a banger Fatal Fury game for the new era. Fatal Fury returning as a flagship title once again is going to be quite interesting for the genre, especially after roughly 23 years. As a fan of Fatal Fury, my biggest hope is that this game delivers to the best of its ability from SNK. And with that being said, you guys, it's looking good for Oda and his team. And I guess as you could say, the future is now. Fatal Fury is back.
Certainly, they existed. Those blinded by ambition. Those consumed with vengeance. But here, they do not exist. Only winners and losers here. For here, the mighty.
This is for you, Terry.
Let's rock! Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves.
If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and a comment in the comment section below. Talk to me, tell me a little bit more about how you guys are feeling about Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. What are your expectations? So forth and so forth. Let's get a conversation started. Talk to me. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.